Why do NASA lie to us about sextants?
To keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
Mankind has always argued, and argued about many things, be that access to water, access to land, or other scarce resources. In prehistoric times, weaponry such as sticks and stones were employed. We moved on to swords and axes, and used armour and shields. As we progressed, horses, ships, cannons were employed, and there were battle groups lined up, facing each other off to settle their differences. War became more serious, with mighty armies sweeping across continents, huge fleets of aircraft and battleships fighting to the death. Of course, in these enlightened times, differences can be sorted out man to man with honour. On YouTube, you can make stupid claims and then have them debunked. Over the past few years, two sets of opponents have faced each other off about something really important, whether the Earth is flat or whether it's a globe. There have been numerous skirmishes recently about sextants, and as part of this, the flat earthers decided to employ what they felt was the ultimate weapon:
the triangle.
Of course, before employing this weapon, they spent many months arguing between themselves before finally coming to agreement that triangles really do only have three sides, although they're not so sure on the angles within them, and they're also not so sure on what colour they should be, nor whether they should be available nasally fitted. But I digress. The Flat Earthers put forward one of their finest warriors, Mr. Flatzoid FE, who was armed with a triangle, and he has done battle with me on several occasions, although each time he's been put on his arse. The shame of it is, he doesn't seem to realise that, and he kept getting up again, just to be knocked down all over again. Unfortunately, this flat earth fanatic is too stupid to know when he has been beaten. He got frustrated and started accusing me left, right and centre of lying. He started accusing me of being dishonest. So the battle went back and forth, with Flatzoid somehow believing that you can calculate the lengths of the sides of a triangle when you only have the angles. Here is the challenge I made.
With a sextant, you are using triangulations. You have an A, B and C, the 90 degree from the zenith and your angle towards the luminary. Triangulation.
Flatzoid, because you have a triangle on the screen doesn't mean it's triangulation. With triangulation, you need angles to several known positions. All you have on the screen is a triangle. With this, you're not even solving a triangle. Let's see what information you've got. You've got your viewing angle, the angle of the star above your horizontal at A. Let's say it's 45 degrees. You have B, the position of the star. Directly below it, you have its GP at C, which is 90 degrees to the horizontal. So what have we got? We've got 45 degrees to the star, 90 degrees at point C. We don't know how far it is from A to C because that's the distance we're trying to work out. We don't know how far it is from A to B to the star. We don't know how far it is from B to C, the height of the star. So basically we have no sides of the triangle. So go ahead, solve that triangle and give us length A to C. You can't. You do not have the information. That is a total fail. And even if you did, that's not triangulation. That's just solving one triangle. Despite telling Flatzoid on numerous occasions that you can't do that it's a mathematical impossibility, despite numerous people in the comments of his videos explaining to him how it's impossible, he holds on to that belief. I even told him to try using an online triangle calculator. Flatzoid, let's have a quick look at one now. Here we go, a right angle triangle calculator. It comes preloaded with some lengths for sides, so we'll get rid of those because we don't know them. Right, angle alpha is our star's elevation from the horizon. Let's pop this in, it's 50 degrees. We've got 90 degrees to the zenith, and angle beta would have to be 40, making up a triangle. Let's see if we can calculate length B. O. Cannot calculate based on two angles only. Oh dear, Flatzoid. Oh dear indeed. To any reasonable person, that really should have been the end of it. But not to a flat earther such as Flatzoid. I still kept explaining to him how it's impossible, and he said this. So you keep doubling down. I will do one final quick video with one triangle, with just one triangle. You sure do need to relook at your priorities. So I replied, okay, a final video from you. Please show how you work out the distance, length of sides, for your triangle. Angle of star elevation at 40 degrees. Apparently, you can calculate the distance from the observer to the GP. You have the three angles now, 40 to the star, 90 at the GP, and you would then get 50 at the star, which is nonsense, of course, as that would mean that the star is local. But that would be the third angle in your triangle. You don't need to know what the GP is, so you don't need to look it up. I can tell you immediately, without solving a triangle, how far the observer is from the GP, as I am using a sphere. You claim to be able to get it with a triangle. Please do. So Flatzoid had previously claimed that he had shown me this several times, but this was going to be it, the final battle of the war. He would produce one video that shows me how he could do it. He produced a video, and this video is so stupid that obviously logic has failed, and so now I have to bust him with cheese. Let's see his video.
I see a star here, okay, and I recognize that star. I just know that particular star in the sky is star A. I'm just going to give it a name, star A.
Hold on a second, Flatzoid. That's not your voice. You've actually used somebody else's video. Still, I suppose if it actually does show us how you can calculate the sides of a triangle using only the angles, I guess that's good enough. Go ahead.
Okay, and let's also suppose that right now the time is 6 p.m. Okay?
Now once again, I don't want to appear churlish, but one does feel a chill coming on. I don't recall in my maths lessons when being taught how to calculate triangles that it's dependent on the time of day.
Now, if somebody out there is watching this video and actually knows how to celestial navigate,
well, that counts out any flat earthers then, doesn't it?
clearly I'm going to be oversimplifying, but I think for most everybody you'll get the basics of what I'm talking about, and that's the whole purpose of the video.
Well, you may well simplify it, but I've got a feeling that for flat earthers it's still going to be well beyond their grasp.
Alright, so here I am, I'm out in the middle of the ocean, I see star A, okay, I know it's star A, and it's 6 p.m. Now, from my location, okay, I see star A, let's say, at 50 degrees above the horizon. Now, how would I get that measurement?
Oh, I know, a sextant.
So the way I would get that measurement is using a nautical instrument. You've probably seen it. I'm going to try to sketch it real quick. It's called a sextant. Okay, it looks like this. You've probably seen mariners using it. And what they do, they pick this thing up, they look through it, and then they kind of swing something back and forth, and it's able to tell them the angle of an object above the horizon.
Yes, this is simplified. They pick up the sextant and swing something back and forth.
I really do have to be very specific with these measurements. Okay, so anyways, I take my sextant out. I know it's 6 p.m. and I look at star A, and I'm seeing it 50 degrees above the horizon at 6 p.m. on this particular day. All right. So what does this mean? Okay, if I have those two pieces of information, I'm on my way to finding my position at sea.
Well, Flatzoid, I see you said enough information to find your position, so I presume we're about to see how you can calculate the sides of the triangle. Now you only know a couple of angles?
Well, there is a book that navigators use, okay, and oh boy, if I'm not mistaken, I think the book is called like HO 229. It's kind of a weird name for a book. It's been a long time, but anyways, it's essentially a reference of all these stars that we look at, these primary stars that we use for navigation.
Flatsoid, why would you have to look at a nautical almanac to solve a triangle? As this is celestial navigation, I know straight away, with that star's elevation at 50 degrees, it's 40 off the zenith, times it by 60, that means I am 2,400 nautical miles from the GP of the star. I haven't looked it up in an almanac, and I haven't solved a triangle.
And I go to this book, and I'm saying, okay, it's 6 p.m., and I'm looking at star A. And the book will tell me, well, star A should be located at this position, okay, at 6 p.m. Okay, at 6 p.m., you should be seeing star A directly over your head, 90 degrees, right? So if I'm standing out here in the middle of the ocean at this position, okay, not where I'm at, okay, at this particular position, I would see star A directly above my head at 90 degrees.
Well, I'm still failing to see exactly how you are solving a triangle here, Flatsoid, but perhaps you're keeping your powder dry and there's going to be a sneak attack and you're going to get me from behind. We'll soon see.
Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you, right? So if I'm right here and I'm looking at star A, I would be looking straight up, right above my head up in the sky. But obviously, at 6 p.m., I'm looking at star A and I see it at 50 degrees in the sky, not 90 degrees, not above my head. So with those two pieces of information, okay, I can use some trigonometry. Okay, this is going to be a right angle. I have a degree here. I have a location here. And I'm not going to get into the math because that's not the purpose of this video.
Well, Flatsoid, the purpose of your response video was supposed to be to show us how you can calculate the sides of a triangle when you only know the angles. Still, in this example, we do have 90 degrees at the GP, 50 degrees at the observer, and therefore 40 at the star. So, go ahead, solve the triangle.
But essentially, what you're able to do, what the book is able to do, is to say, listen, if you're seeing star A at 50 degrees, okay, and not at 90 degrees, well, the only way you can do that is that you have to be a certain distance away.
Right, this is it. We're going to find out. How do you calculate that distance?
The way you can do that is that you have to be a certain distance away from its location at 6 p.m., okay? And it's basically going to build us a little circle here. So let's just make a number up.
What?
Say that again.
Let's just make a number up. Let's say in order to see star A at 50 degrees, okay, at 6 p.m. at night, you have to be 900 miles away to be able to see that observation. Okay?
He's making it up as he goes along. No, I'm not.
So that's it, Flatsoid. Some basic introduction to celestial navigation where the presenter makes up the distance in miles, not even nautical miles, when he could have just used the distance, the correct distance of 2,400 nautical miles. So your example video doesn't even show us how we can calculate a distance, let alone how that distance is calculated based just on 3 angles of a triangle. Now fear not, siblings, you may think that Flatsoid's being stupid, but believe me, the stupid goes much deeper than that. Let's have a look at that guy's YouTube channel for this video. Here we go, let's have a look. Celestial Navigation Math. The channel is Tablet Class Math. Special note, the Earth is round, oval. So my use of right triangles is a simple math model to explain the basic concepts of navigating by the stars. However, the actual math needed to perform celestial navigation involves trigonometry on a sphere. You complete gimboid. Zaphod, what do you think about this?
Yeah, okay, so 10 out of 10 for style, but minus several million for good thinking, huh?
But no, the stupid didn't stop there, did it, Flatsoid? Because you did a quick follow-up video with just a few slides. Let us see just how well you do understand. The first slide is some brief information about sextants, and you say, read it through a couple of times. Well, if only you had, Flatzoid. The next slide has a vocabulary list including trigonometry, the mathematical relationships between the sides and the angles of triangles. Oh dear. The next slide has the formula for solving triangles. For instance, for angle A, the sine of angle A equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. For B, you've got the tan of B is the opposite over the adjacent. Read it through a couple of times, Flatzoid. You need the lengths of some sides in order to solve a triangle. The final slide shows dip correction. It shows the sextant with a horizontal, that dotted line, but the dip down to the horizon is shown. In this case, 0.0413 degrees. So when you take your reading, you get a measurement of 20. You have to deduct the dip, giving you a corrected angle of 19.959. I think you need to show Oakley and 10th Man and all those other dimwits. Perhaps this bit isn't too advanced for you. Draw a picture of a navigator in the boat. Oh, I hope you haven't eaten all your crayons. Let's see if you understood what you read. Well, Flatzoid, I don't think you have. Well, I think we've all waited long enough. Flatzoid, gird your loins because you are about to get busted with cheese. So here is our science demonstration area, lovingly framed with cheese triangles. First thing we want is a triangle. Oh, I think we may need to do some work on that. So we have our triangle, A, B and C. So how do we work out this distance? Well, if we've got this angle here, which is 40, the sine of the opposite over the hypotenuse, or the cosine of the adjacent over the... We don't know anything. We cannot calculate it. But thanks to Flatzoid's video, we now stand a chance. What we do is we check our clock. 6 p.m. That means that this is 900 miles long. Well, let's check that length. Well, it appears to me to be 10.5 centimetres, Flatzoid, and not 900 miles. You idiot. Well, since we've got this view to our star with the angle of 40 degrees, what about other observers? Let's ask Alice. She's further away. She sees the star at 20 degrees. Do you see a problem here, Flatzoid? Well, let's ask Bob. He's at a different distance. He sees it at 30 degrees. Yep, a definite problem. This is why using the elevation of stars on a flat Earth won't work, because the height of the star would have to change dependent on your distance from it. Chuff nuggets. So having shown you how things just can't work with triangles on a flat Earth, let's have a look how it really works. Let's start off with a sun. Well, we could make it a bit more cheesy. Right, here is our sun. Excellent. Do you know what? I think I'd prefer if we looked at a star. Cool. Now, let's put that star over the Earth. Excellent. What we need now, of course, is a flat earther. Meet Flatzoid, well, Parmezoid. Let's stand him just here, wanting to know exactly where he is by using celestial navigation. Now, in reality, a star is a very long way away, an extremely long way away. So let's move this star about, I don't know, 20 light years away off the screen. So the star's light hits us in parallel lines. There's the line down to the GP. There's the light from the star down to Parmezoid's location. So now Parmezoid wishes to take a reading with the elevation of that star. That star is 50 degrees above his horizon, which means it's 40 degrees off of his zenith. 40 times 60 means that this point is 2,400 minutes of arc around a curve. That is his distance. That is how you get the distance to the GP. You are not solving any triangles whatsoever. Now the really interesting thing, Flatzoid, which is gonna bake your noodle, is we have established that Parmezoid is 2,400 nautical miles from the GP. That's 2,761.871 miles on the Earth. If you were doing this on the Moon, it would be 2,400 nautical miles, but it wouldn't be that same distance in miles. Doing it on a plate, it's still 2,400 nautical miles, but only about 8 or 9 centimetres. The conversion is different. It's always 2,400 nautical miles for the star 50 degrees above the horizontal, 40 degrees off your zenith, because it's a measurement around a curve. So, Mr. Flatzoid, do you get it yet? Do you not see why you failed? Do you not see why you don't use triangles to... Arnold, what are you doing? Arnold? Arnie? Leave him alone. No, that's Flatzoid. That's a flat earther. What are you going to do? Arnold? Are you biting his leg off? Look, that was a very expensive piece of Parmesan cheese. You're ruining my experiment. Oh, Arnold. Oh dear. Never mind. Flatzoid, Parmezoid, Failzoid, you are at least 7 triangles short of a full pack. Well, I think we're about done here, Flatzoid. I mean, anybody can make a mistake. Anybody can have a lack of knowledge about something. The important thing is if they learn, correct themselves and move on. You don't do that. I don't think it's because you're dishonest. I just really think, unfortunately, that you're just too damn stupid to understand. This is going to be my final response to you on this, because I don't think you're ever going to change. You just cannot comprehend things. So how do you feel about it, Flatzoid? How do you feel about it now I have shown you this video?
You have made a mockery of me.
I busted him up.
Flatzoid Effie, you have been thoroughly busted by cheese. Make sure you hit like, subscribe and notify so you can see the next video. Until then, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.